Eating the same foods, especially when it comes to cutting for fat loss, is probably the biggest hack ever when it comes to losing fat. And let me tell you the reason why. Because firstly, even though you think it's not enjoyable, it is enjoyable. The only reason why you find it not enjoyable is because you're gonna be having, you're gonna be having average people, chit chat and be like, oh my god, how you eat? How you eating this much food? Do you not get tired? Do you not get miserable? Let me ask you the question, yeah? Do you not get miserable from looking at yourself in the mirror every single day? Would you rather be miserable looking at yourself every single day in the mirror or be miserable eating the same foods every single day? You would rather eat the same foods every single day, right? And feel miserable, but feel, like boring, feel like it's a boring thing, which is boring, but it's still, you can still make it enjoyable. The reason why you find it boring, okay, let's say if no one was, just backbatting you, telling you like, oh, you shouldn't do that, all of that stuff. Let's say if you find it boring without someone, chit-chatting behind your back. The reason why you find it boring is because you make the meal plan boring. If you make it enjoyable, I promise you won't feel like, eating other things. You're just going to stick to eating the same foods. Obviously, I'm not saying you should stick to the same foods for the rest of your life. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about specifically for a fat loss phase, for a cutting phase. Because realistically, even if you're going to be eating the same foods for fat loss and for in a cut, then you're not going to do that for the rest of your life, are you? You're not going to do that on a gaining phase. You're not going to do that on a bulk. You're not going to do that because, obviously, you're not going to be cutting forever. So the way to make it enjoyable is to find foods that you enjoy eating and that you enjoy, and specifically the meals. Find meals that you love having. It can be, for example, oats. Like, check out the meals that I have. The meals that I have, even though it looks boring, it's very enjoyable. Like, you will enjoy it a lot. And you won't even feel like, yeah, cool, you might be getting cravings sometimes, but you're not going to feel as hungry. You're not going to feel, like proper, like, eating it. It's gonna be hard for you to eat other things. And since you enjoy eating the same foods, you won't really feel like, eating off plan, or, you just won't feel like eating other things if you stick to the foods that you eat consistently, that you enjoy. So if you're gonna eat the same foods daily for fat loss, then make sure you make it enjoyable. You don't need to be having and not to the point where not to the point it gets extreme, like, carnivore diets, and to the point where you just have plain chicken or rice with, not making it more, like flavorful. Like you've seen in my series, like where I make a lot of, whenever I cook up stir-fried veggies with mushrooms, and I find it nice. It just tastes so nice, especially when I flavor it with tomato paste and pepper paste for flavor, like as my, healthy sauce, which is a good replacement of just cooking up some vegetables with nothing added on there, not with mushrooms, and not boiling it with, not having frozen mixed veg and boiling it with broccoli. No, of course not. And another example can be, just having plain oats. If you just have plain oats, of course you're gonna find it boring. But if you add your favorite toppings onto it, even if it's just frozen blueberries, it can be dates, it can be honey. Even if you just add more toppings to it to make it more, enjoyable, then you're not gonna get sick and tired of eating that meal. And hence you can keep eating these every single day, and you won't get bored. I promise you that. The reason why you fall off after eating the same meals is because your meals aren't enjoyable. You need to, if you want to be eating the same meals daily, then you need to pick the meals that you find that you enjoy. If you enjoy eating potatoes, eat potatoes. If you enjoy eating rice, then eat rice. So if you want to be eating the same meals for fat loss, which you should, in my opinion, because it will make hitting your calories and macros so much easier. It would reduce your decision fatigue. You won't overcomplicate your meals. You can more likely keep them more simple, and you don't have to do these fancy recipes all the time. And then hence it just makes it harder for you to hit your calorie targets and your macro targets consistently. Whereas if you just eat the same foods daily, it will allow you to easily hit the calories and macro target consistently, and allow you to stick to a deficit more consistently, and hence and it'll make it easier for you to fit your favorite foods in there, swap this for that, which I would recommend you guys to do. But if you're someone that can fit their macros in and don't eat off, and they don't more than likely mess up and binge eat afterwards, then you can do that. And that's that's another great thing about eating the same meals daily as well, because obviously you can make minor changes very easily. But if you want to be eating the same meals daily, then my best advice would be is to make the meals enjoyable. Don't be picking, don't be just having plain chicken or rice and broccoli just because it's just so easy to prep that. It's just very easy to track these. No, make it more enjoyable, add a little of some sauce in there, or add have something different, have beef and rice instead of chicken and rice. Or if you want some meal ideas, then go check out my series, where for all of the meals that I've been having, they're all there for you guys to see. If not, then the fact that you watch this video is good enough for me, and I'll see you in the next video.